What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, what's going on in the United States, Washington, D.C., money, investing, and the next stimulus package that has been announced at $3.5 trillion and is now moving quickly towards the final vote in the House of Representatives and is currently being worked at $3.5 trillion, despite Senator Joe Manchin wanting it to be significantly less at $1.5 trillion. One single senator wants it to be less than half the size of that. And we're going to see what happens with that. We're going to give you the latest details of that, as well as what is going on in our country today here in this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will keep you up to date with what's going on in our country. If you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. And let's jump right in. A major ruling has come down from an FDA advisory panel that has endorsed virus booster shots for older Americans, but rejects widespread use. Check this out. A federal advisory panel yesterday unanimously voted to recommend the FDA authorize a third booster shot of Pfizer and BioNTech's virus vaccine for people over the age of 65, as well as for other groups of people who are high risk for the virus. But the vote only occurred after the panel overwhelmingly voted against recommending the widespread use of booster shots for everyone else over the age of 16. Wow. This was not what everybody was expecting. The move represents a rebuke of the Biden administration and deals an unexpected blow to the president's plan to administer booster doses to all Americans over the age of 16 beginning September 20th. So again, the Federal Advisory Panel on Friday unanimously voted to recommend the FDA authorize a third booster shot only for people over the age of 65, as well as for other people who are at high risk. But they voted against recommending the widespread use of booster shots for everybody else over the age of 16. The advisory panel said the incremental benefit to younger population has not been shown at all, quote, said panel member Michael Kurilla, a clinical director at the National Institute of Health. Quote, we can't simply be in a position where we would just be vaccinating people every time we think there's a problem. Note that the panel's vote is not binding, so the FDA doesn't have to accept the results. But if it doesn't, it would likely raise significant questions of political interference and pit agency scientists against political officials who signed off on the boosters plan. Peter Marks, the agency's top vaccine regulators, note that the recommendation could be tweaked. Should the FDA sign off on the recommendation, the CDC advisory panel will meet next week to decide more details about who would specifically qualify for the booster shots and when they will be administered. The FDA panel members did not vote to define who is considered high risk, but the category will likely include healthcare workers as well as people with pre-existing conditions with diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. People with severe weakened immune systems are already eligible for a third dose, though the broader booster recommendation will only apply to the vaccine from Pfizer currently at the moment. 24 different states are threatening legal action over President Biden's vaccine mandate, and we will see some legal actions in the court of law probably here in the near future. Although if anything happens with them, we will have to see. 24 states threatened to sue the Biden administration on Thursday over the president's new rule to require employers with more than 100 employees to mandate vaccinations and frequent testing for their workers. I will keep you updated on this situation. Los Angeles County, one of the largest counties in the United States, has just required vaccine proof to enter an indoor bar. By November 4th, proof of full vaccination will be mandatory, according to the county's Department of Public Health, just to enter an indoor bar. In Italy, Italy will require all workers to be vaccinated and prevent a health pass. Check this out. Italy is requiring all its public and private section workers to present COVID health passes in order to keep working and getting paid. The government voted Thursday to require by October 15th that all workers have health passes that are only given if a person is fully vaccinated and has natural immunity from a recent infection or has given a COVID test from a previous 72 hours. Yeah, so they have to have been fully vaccinated, has natural immunity from a recent infection, or has given a negative test from the previous 72 hours, Reuters reported. Those who do not have a health pass cannot be fired from their job, but they will be suspended without pay, the ministers said. Both employers and employees will be fined if a person goes to work without a valid health pass. Here is Senator Bernie Sanders on the next stimulus package, the $3.5 trillion package. Senator Bernie Sanders is largely considered in charge of this next stimulus package. He is the Senate budget chairman, the person in charge of the reconciliation process. Here he is.
You've got some Democratic senators like Bernie Sanders who said we shouldn't negotiate. It's $3.5 trillion or close to it or bust.
A major compromise has already been made. I'm chairman of the Budget Committee. On the Budget Committee are 11 Democrats. 9 of them were prepared to support a $6 trillion bill. I would guess at least 40 Democrats out of 50 understand that we need at least $6 trillion. So there's already been a significant compromise. Elderly people in America can't afford to put dentures into their mouth. They have no teeth in their mouth in some cases, can't afford hearing aids, can't afford eyeglasses. Whether you are a Democrat or a working class Republican or an independent, overwhelming support for this bill. The President of the United States wants it. We had a joint agreement. We're going to go forward together, deal physical infrastructure, deal with the needs of working families. Let's do it. Let's create the jobs. Let's deal with an expansion of Medicare. Let's deal with climate. That's what we've got to do.
Now, Senator Joe Manchin from the Senate has voted to advance the $3.5 trillion bill when they had the initial voting process to vote to proceed. He voted to advance the bill at $3.5 trillion, and then he said that the Democrats should press the pause button, and not go forward at $3.5 trillion. And in recent days, he said that he would be comfortable at $1.5 trillion. Yeah. Senator Bernie Sanders has been trying to shut down the moderates like Senator Joe Manchin, saying that $3.5 trillion is what the plan needs and that they've already negotiated. And in recent days, he's saying that $3.5 trillion is what the plan needs to stay at. And that is what the House is currently moving forward at, $3.5 trillion. And that is what they're currently putting the bill together at. Here is Bernie on another very important part of this plan, of this stimulus package. Check this out.
This really is a pivotal moment in American history. Through the reconciliation bill, what we are doing is taking on virtually every powerful special interest in this country. And I'm talking about the drug companies and the insurance companies and the fossil fuel industry and corporate America and the wealthiest people in this country. Because what we are trying to do, among many other things, is lower the cost of prescription drugs in America. Because the American people are sick and tired, in some instances, of paying 10 times more for the same exact drug sold in Canada or in Europe. And what the pharmaceutical industry has done year after year, pour huge amounts of money in lobbying, the campaign contributions. In fact, they have spent over $4 billion in lobbying and campaign contributions in the last 10 years. So that the result is that they can raise their prices to any level they want. They can double the price of the drug you're getting tomorrow. And that's legal because they write the laws. And today, 1 out of 5 Americans cannot afford the medicine they need. How outrageous is that? How outrageous is it that thousands of people literally die each year because they don't get the insulin, they don't get the medicine that they desperately need, but they can't afford it? Well, we are now taking on the pharmaceutical industry. At the very least, What we want to do is have Medicare negotiate prescription drug prices with the pharmaceutical industry, raise many, many hundreds of billions of dollars, use that money to expand Medicare to cover dental care, eyeglasses, and hearing aids. And the pharmaceutical industry is doing everything they can. They're putting dishonest ads on television. They're lobbying like crazy. But now is the time, finally, for the Congress of the United States to have the courage to stand up to the drug companies, to stand up to the fossil fuel industry, to stand up to the healthcare industry, and represent ordinary Americans and not just the wealthy and the powerful.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very interesting next few days here. They're putting together the bill in the House of Representatives, and they are really up against the deadline now because not this Monday, but the next Monday, September 27th, is when House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has promised the moderate Democrats that they will vote on the physical infrastructure bill. And remember that they want to have the stimulus package done and voted and passed in the House before then. So that basically means that this upcoming week, they want to have the stimulus package, the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, passed in the House by this week, because they want to have it done before the physical infrastructure package. Because remember that the whole game plan here is basically to have the stimulus package, $3.5 trillion, passed before the physical infrastructure package. That's the $1.2 trillion package. Because if not, then they kind of lose a little bit of leverage, where the physical infrastructure package is kind of a little bit of leverage that they might lose, that they have set a voting date of September 27th to vote on the physical infrastructure package. They had to do that to kind of quell the moderate Democrats who originally wanted to vote on that before the stimulus package. So they have set a date of September 27th to vote on the physical infrastructure package. So they have, from what I understand, all the 13 subcommittees have now finished their subcommittee portions of the bill. They haven't released it to the public, and they're now drafting the bill. They're probably doing that this weekend, and at some point they're going to release it to the public, okay? And they're probably going to try to vote on the bill and finish the bill and do it all this week. In addition to this, so literally the stimulus package could be finished in the House this week, the $3.5 trillion. In addition to that, they also have a government shutdown coming at the end of September, which at this point is like 12 days, okay? So if they don't pass a government shutdown, an annual budget that they have to do every single year, they can do a stopgap, which is basically a continuing resolution, a temporary government budget, or they can do a full government budget for a year, but I think they're going to just do a temporary government budget. If they don't do that by the end of this month, we see a government shutdown. And then really the worser of the two is the debt limit, which Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says that the U.S. default could come in October. Yeah, that means that the U.S. government will run out of money in October if they don't raise the debt ceiling, which they have to do. They have to do this or the government will run out of money. The government is running on emergency reserves right now. They have to raise the debt ceiling. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. They have to do it. There's no other way around it. They can't just print money. They can't print money without raising the debt ceiling. They have to raise the debt ceiling to fulfill their past debt obligations, okay, from all the past years. So they have to raise the debt ceiling. There's no other option. There's no other option. They have to raise the debt ceiling. There's literally no other option. Meanwhile, since August 1st, when they should have raised the debt ceiling, they've been blowing through about $450 billion. So they had an emergency reserve of $450 billion that they have been whittling down. And now we don't know the exact amount in there, but it's being chopped down day by day by day. And by day by day. And literally the government is going to run out of money in this emergency reserve fund that they have sometime in October. And October starts in 12 days. So we have a government shutdown with the annual budget. Then we have the national debt limit, which has to be raised by sometime in October. Heaven forbid it comes a few days before that and the government runs out of money before that. So House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer says that they're going to start holding votes for this as early as this week. I personally think that they should start those votes in the Senate. We'll have to see what's going to happen this week, because remember that the House is voting on the stimulus package. The Senate, it's just my personal thoughts here, the Senate should start voting on the debt limit ceiling and the government shutdown. Let the Senate work on that stuff while the House is working on the stimulus package. I mean, two different bodies can work on two different things, right? While the House is busy with the stimulus package, the Senate could be working on their portion of the debt limit ceiling and the government shutdown. But House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer says that this week they're going to be working on the stimulus package, the government shutdown, and the debt limit ceiling. So my, oh my, is it going to be a busy week. Now, technically, the government shutdown has 12 days. They have to pass it by September 30th or October 1st. We will have a government shutdown. We will have a government shutdown by October 1st. That's bad. But a government default is exponentially worse. That's the government running out of money and defaulting on their obligations. So, for example, that would be like a person going bankrupt, and you know what happens in bankruptcy, like you lose everything, you can't pay anything. That would be the equivalent of that. A government shutdown, we know, is just a temporary thing, a little bit different there. Somebody going bankrupt and defaulting is like the worst case scenario. We do not want to see that happen in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I think it's a travesty that we're even discussing this and we're even getting close to this. So we need to do that. That actually should be priority number one. So they're going to potentially have a vote on that this week. Every week that goes by and we get closer to October, I mean, if we even get into October with the debt limit ceiling, because who knows at what point in October we're going to actually run out of money. Like, what if we get to October and then they're like, oh, by the way, we're going to run out of money in 3 days. Like, what do we do then? Yeah, so this would be a first for the country to actually run out of money. Yeah. So let's just hope that Congress can actually figure this out. Now remember that this debt limit ceiling at this point, it looks like they're going to have to do it with the Republicans and the Democrats. They're both going to have to agree to this. And that's why I can't believe that 100 House Republicans have signed a letter promising not to vote. They promised to vote to not raise the debt ceiling when they have to. They raised the debt ceiling 3 times during former President Donald Trump's presidency. They've raised the debt ceiling during every president's presidency. You have to. It's something that has to be done, or else the government defaults. So this is going to become more and more of an issue. And this literally has to do with nothing else but keeping the country alive. Yeah. Yeah, so you guys can let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. But that is what we're going to be doing this upcoming week. So, wow. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely crazy. Government shutdown, default on the debt limits version, as well as they have to pass the stimulus package this week, or on the next upcoming Monday, they're going to be voting on the physical infrastructure package. And if they have to vote on the physical infrastructure package first, then we could have a lot of Democrats that are very, very upset if the stimulus package doesn't pass first. Because if the stimulus package doesn't pass first, there could be a lot of Democrats that are upset and might vote no on the physical infrastructure package because the plan was to have the stimulus package pass first, then pass the physical infrastructure package because it's kind of a leverage thing. So nonetheless, I will keep you up to date on all these situations. I'll let you know step by step as everything is happening here on our show. Remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. All you have to do is click subscribe, and then you're done. And also click the bell icon that appears after you subscribe to get notifications, and then click all notifications to get reminder notifications when we go live with new videos. You can click here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video is about how there could be several different stimulus checks included in the next stimulus package. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.